I check the COVID status pretty frequently, but what I found out is that most of these pages give me more information than I need. For example, right now I'm just interested in the daily counts or the daily new cases in Florida. So what I'm going to try to do here is to create a utility that will give me just that piece of information. And I'm going to be using Node version 12. And this is JavaScript. And I'm going to do this on Windows. And I'm going to first look at the COVID tracking API using curl just to see what I get. COVID tracking. The API v1 states Florida. So that's the information. So to create my node project, I'm going to first use npm to initialize the project. It gives me a kind of like a project file. Yes. And I know I will need a testing framework. A testing framework helps me getting my thoughts together. So it's really good thing to have when I develop things. So install, in this case I'll use Jasmine, save dev Jasmine. Once I have Jasmine, I'm going to run and kind of initialize the Jasmine. It gives me a spec file and some configuration so that I could start running tests. So see, this allows me to say, well, before I do that, I'll just say install something else. I'm going to install the request package. The request package allows me to make HTTP calls. So Node itself has a way of making HTTP calls, but it's harder to use. Request is basically easy to use. Also, something called request promise native. This allows me to call it more like a synchronous operation, so I don't have to work with the asynchronous ways of the callbacks and things like that. Makes it easier to use. So I have all my packages, and what I was gonna say is I could start now run Jasmine. Of course, right now it won't see anything. I have no tests, so it says no specs found. A spec, it's like a test. So I'm going to add my first test. I'm going to call it COVID service, I guess. So my COVID service, it's the spec file. So I'm going to say spec. It should give me the contents of the COVID status. So the good thing about writing tests is that I can just write down what I need. So right now, this is my COVID service. So I'll do that. And it should give me some stats, I guess. Because I'm just writing it down. And what I could do is maybe I'll say stats equals COVID service, say get stats. And I can expect stats to be truthy and then not empty. I can also expect stats date to be some date. Oops. And maybe it's the positive increase to be some number, I don't remember. And that will do it for a test. Of course, I need the actual COVID service to be built, so I'm going to say COVID equals require some kind of COVID service. It's not there yet, so when I run the test again, it's going to tell me, hey, there's cannot find module COVID service right here. So that's fine. I'll just start making my COVID service module. and it's gonna export. I'm just gonna do it like this. I know I need a get stats, and this is gonna be a function, so I'll say function for now, and return something. I don't even know what I'm supposed to return. It's not important yet. Again, I'm just going to run my test. Oh, still can't find COVID service. So I'm trying to wonder why that is. Going back here, because I forgot my slash. So that's okay. But now it's saying undefined. So what I could do, for example, I know I'm returning this, but I could maybe return something like date equals something like this, right? So now the date will be okay, but the other thing will be undefined. But I don't want to make up my own stats. I want real stats. So there's where I get my request equals require request promise native, like that. Goes to my URL equal https covidtracking.com API v1 states Florida current JSON. So instead of returning all this stuff, I'm going to return the actual thing, which is request. I'm going to do a get. I'm going to get my URL, and the other thing is I'm going to turn JSON option on. This way it's going to parse the result into JSON for me, so I don't have to do it myself. So now still undefined because it comes back as a promise. So I'm gonna have to say I want to wait on it like this. Ooh, okay, I got the date wrong. It says expecting 7:05, so I'm gonna change that, I guess. And the other one is also undefined, so there's no such thing as positive because I spelled it wrong. So there we go. See, that's what's so great about tests. It tells me what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so expected 10059, so I guess I'm gonna make it 10059. So there you go. Now all my tests are passing. I know I'm doing it right. So now I just need a launcher for this, kind of, so I can run it here. Because right now I'm not seeing anything. I want to be more of a utility than just a service. So I'm gonna create something called, maybe I'll just call it get COVID. And I'm gonna also get the service, except the path is a different place. And I still want my stats. And that's it. Oh, I'm gonna just leave these alone here. All right, and I can't use await in this case because this is a top level, so I'm just gonna have to, I'm gonna use then. My value is gonna be the same value, so now I can say something like, I just print it out, I guess. Let's say date is the date part of the value. And new cases equals value dot positive increase. There you go. And now I can try to run, well, test still passed, but I can now run get COVID, and oh, did not work. States is not defined. It's really stats. So there you go. Oops. And there it is. Now I have something to give me the new cases in Florida. And that's all. And of course, if you're new to JavaScript, I still encourage you to just follow along what I did and have a little fun without having to worry about all the details. All right, thanks for watching. One last note, this test is really meant to help me develop the app because the values that I'm checking here is only correct for today. If tomorrow I run the same test, it's gonna fail, and it's not a good test if this test needs to be updated all the time. So just making note of that, and I will have to remove this test eventually.